Welcome back to Bloody Good Chats, where for the next 20 minutes, you're our best friend. So sit back, relax, and let's have a bloody good time.
Period. Eliza's home, Eliza's home, Eliza's home, Eliza's home, Eliza's home, Eliza's home.
May is 27, May is 27, May is 27.
Been a big week, hasn't it?
Been a huge week.
Wow.
The gang is back
The gang is back together. Thank God you're home. Like,
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here. Thank God you're here.
Where have you been, bitch?
Yeah. Last week was fun. I liked doing the potty, but I liked it better with you.
Oh, that was really nice. Your potty was so good. I loved it.
I was like stressing because I was like, how do you keep a conversation going with yourself for like
surely you're
20
good at
minutes? 100%. I'm talking to myself all day in my head. But
Literally,
I think it's different when you're like, oh, people are going to be watching this.
Yeah.
In my head, there's no filter.
Yes.
Anyway.
We should unlock that one day.
We should.
Filter-free episode.
Cancelled. Nah, not really. We're not that bad. But we're here and we're in your ears and we're really excited for this episode I feel like we need to stop saying that. We need to think our vocabulary needs to be larger. And I'm being really serious right now because every time we have a hormone harmony call, we're so excited for this. And it's because
we're really looking forward to it.
We're really excited. We're really looking forward to it. But I'm like, surely people are like, come on, guys, we get it. You're excited.
Yeah, I was in a one-to-one call the other day and I was like, I love that. And then I was like, at the end, I was like, oh my gosh, I keep saying I love that. I'm so sorry. And then we were just like cracking up by the end. We were both like, I love that. Like she would say something and she'd be like, I love that. And then
when you get one thing, you've got to go with it.
Yeah,
though. Yeah.
She got it. She was feeling what I was feeling. Even though my word. I love that.
It's just an easy default. But then you do see people on Instagram and they're like, I mean, let's try not to compare ourselves to people online. Mm-hmm. But you do then think about, you're like, wow, their vocabulary is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
some
I need
people
to go
have a
read
way with words.
Fucking dictionary.
But I think some people would listen to us speak and be like, wow, they speak so well.
Wow, love that. Yeah. They're so excited.
Love that.
So I hope you guys learned something from us. If it's not grammar and speech, hopefully it's menstrual cycle related stuff anyway. But let's do a cycle check-in.
Yeah.
You go.
I'm cycle day 3, guys. So my bleed arrived a couple of days ago. I was a little bit nervous because last time we spoke, there's been a bit of a saga of this cyst. I was on antibiotics. Blah, so sick of talking about it, if I'm being honest. But I do.
hate that when you're like, I've spoken about this so much, it's annoying me.
Literally. But I was a little bit nervous because of everything that I've been through over the last month or so. I was like, oh, this is probably going to be not the most pleasant, but it's been all good. And I think that comes back to, I just came back from Bali. I feel very blessed. I was, being able to relax and get massages and eat beautiful food and sit in the sun. So I think all of that kind of counteracted, a couple of weeks of antibiotics and a bit of sickness and stress.
Okay, I'd love to ask you now, what was your thought process around you? Like, you knew that there was things going on in your life and you've been on antibiotics. Like, how are you talking to yourself?
In terms of my period?
Yeah.
I think I was just dropping any expectation of it needs to be this certain way. I think I came from a place of understanding. Mm-hmm. My body's just been through so much. How can I expect it to be, quote unquote, a perfect healthy cycle?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've just had to come from a place of a lot of understanding. You know what? We can do this. We're great at healing. Yeah. You're very capable. Those kinds of words is
Love
kind of
that.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Thanks.
That's going to tie in really nicely to our episode today. But before we get into that, I'll do my little cycle check-in. I am cycle day 5. Hang on. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cycle day 5 today. And I really loved my bleed. And also because it was my last bleed, it was a bleed on the overlap of being 26 to 27.
So magic.
And I just thought that was perfect. And it was just me kind of stepping into this new year.
Wow. Goodbye, 26.
Yeah. Goodbye, 26. It was really good. I felt really good. I I know I said that last cycle was a bit of a dodgy cycle and I hadn't tracked anything. This cycle, I tracked everything. I knew that everything was working smoothly and my period reflected that too. So that was really, really good.
Slay, snaps for you.
Yes, thank you. And you.
Woo!
Love that. Love that. So excited. I'm going to be thinking about when I say that now because I feel like
you
I
can't
say
think
love
about
that.
it.
Love that, love that. There's just love everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Love is all around.
Love actually is all around.
All around. Anyway, so
I'm nervous for today,
the topic
guys.
for today. So we need a little backstory first. I think these podcasts go the best when Eliza and I, like one person brings something and kind of springs it on the other because you get our real raw reaction.
Yes.
And I had a friend text me the other day, and bless my friend, she is an absolute hoarder. You think I'm a hoarder? Like she has kept everything. Like her childhood bedroom is stocked to the brim, but it is sick. Like she's got so many cool things in this bedroom, including flyers she was given when she was 12 years old about periods.
No, oh my god.
So she's texted me a photo of these flyers and said, found some 15-year-old relics. Is that what it's called? I just found these at the bottom of my undies drawer. So there's 2 flyers. One is puberty for girls, and then the other is about periods. And these have been distributed by the Family Planning Queensland. So they're from Queensland. That's where we live right now. Mm-hmm. And she said she's had these for 15 years and she's 26 years old. So that's, around...
That's, yeah.
around like 11 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then she sent through 4 photos and I just want to read out 2 of the things that stood out to me. So there's a few headings. I'm going to add some photos so for those of you who are watching this you can see, but if not, don't stress, I'll read it out. There's puberty and periods. It kind of goes through what's going to happen, what is a period, and then it says what will a period feel like. Everyone is different. You might feel a bit sick or sore in your tummy. Maybe you will get a bit cranky or tired before your period starts. Some women might feel fine. If you do feel sick or sore, talk to someone you trust or see your doctor for help. Not too bad. Other things about periods. So this is then in the second flyer, the puberty for girls flyer. Other things about periods. Periods are private. You can talk about them with people you know and trust, but not to just anyone. You will have a period about once a month. In the first year, you might not get a period once a month. It will take time for your body to become used to having periods.
Private, wow. Hush, hush.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's... The first part wasn't too bad. I think, yes, they are painting periods out to be more painful, but I understand like their language was like, maybe you'll feel like this, maybe you'll be fine, which I think is quite open-ended because it's like, you know, there are a lot of women experiencing pain, so that makes them feel accepted and then the other side feels. So I feel like that first part was okay. The second part of it being private and you shouldn't speak about it to just anyone is...
Like, what generation are we living in?
Literally. That makes me feel like if I was to take myself back to my 11-year-old self, I would be like, okay, like I can't really speak to anyone about this.
Yeah. Which then also, if you think about yourself as an 11-year-old thinking like that, if you're not experiencing a period that feels nice, obviously then you've also read that previous statement, which was like, it might be a bit sore in the tummy. But then maybe people are feeling like that from a young age, and maybe it's not just a little bit sore, like maybe there's actually something wrong. But because it's their period, they're then like, oh, well, I can't talk about this because I've just read something that's told me to kind of like hush, hush, you can't talk about periods to anyone. There's only a particular room of people you can talk to periods about.
Yeah.
I just feel like the flow-on effect from that is actually so much more impactful than we're giving it credit for. And I feel
100%.
like there's a whole discussion there of like where your beliefs come from about your cycle and how that actually influences you now and how you think about your body now. And I don't feel like that conversation is addressed enough.
Yeah.
So when I saw those flyers, I mean, yeah, there was some good information and like it's great that people were actually getting educated about periods, because I know that in some other countries there wouldn't actually even be flyers handed out about that stuff.
Yes.
But just that last bit, the hush hush bit, I was like, wow, this has really kind of shaped a lot of like what we speak about today. Mm-hmm. And even in our hormone harmony programs, the first thing that we focus on is our beliefs and the way that we speak to ourselves. And the reason why we focus on this first is because it's usually the hardest thing for a lot of us to break, because from such a young age we've thought so negatively and like, oh, well, I can't speak about it because it's a period, it shouldn't be spoken about.
Yeah, it's something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, it's not just the literature that you see, but also your parents, your mum, your sister, your grandma, whatever it might be. I think even their actions, because they've grown up in a generation where it's even more hush hush than our generation, and they're, you know, going to the bathroom and hiding their tampon or, you know, not really discussing it around maybe males or anything like that. So I think the flow and effect of all of that is just really, really impactful. And then movies, books, TV shows always painted out to be a cranky bitch. And
for sure. I would argue it's not the one flyer that's the issue. It's the accumulative effect of all other social media and, as Eliza said, movies, and even like what the boys in school would say to you as well. Like, I'm sorry, but those boys were brutal. Like, I remember there were a few girls in my grade who, like, maybe like grade 9, I feel like everyone started getting their periods, and it was like a few girls would sit out of PE because they were like, oh, I'm on my period. And the boys just used to come for them, and it was a shameful thing to be on your period, really.
Yeah. No frontal lobe development, those guys.
No, absolutely not. But also, if we were then to flip that and like think, because I always think about my experience getting my first period. Like, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was just kind of what happened, you know? But imagine if it was something that was more celebrated, and like, I can't wait to have daughters, or like even your kids too. Like, imagine like, oh my God, it gives me goosebumps, I want to cry. But like, you have a little girl and she was like, Auntie May, I got my period. I would be like, babes, we're going to party. Like, this is so exciting.
Yeah. And I think there are a lot of cultures out there that do celebrate it, and it's like you know, you're becoming a woman, which is so exciting. Yeah. And it's like, I always come back to the fact that a huge perspective flip for me was just realizing that no one on this earth would exist without a cycle. Yeah. Like, it is one of the most powerful things to humankind. Like, without it, we would not be able to have children, great grandchildren, be on this planet. Yet it's something that we feel so ashamed of.
Yes. And what? That's so true.
Yeah, it is really, like, it is, we're witches. We're literally magical. Like, what? Like, it's crazy. And our body's doing so many different things. Like, sure, males are doing some amazing things, like creating sperm every day, but they're doing the same thing every day. Like, our body's doing
something different.
Like, it has to change, it has to adapt, it has to assess things, it has to grow life. And then growing life is another thing. Like, imagining a little tiny follicle, the egg gets released, tiny egg. That egg, when it meets the sperm, turns into a brain, bones, teeth, fingernails, hair follicles, earlobes. Like, how does our body even know how to... Like, it's crazy.
It's when making me
like,
think...
veins, heart, lungs.
Like, you used to be, like, this small.
Literally.
I mean, you're still teeny tiny.
And we're doing it, but, like, whilst going to work, whilst supporting our partners, whilst being a good friend. Well, like, there's just so... Like, it is... Yeah, I don't know. It definitely needs to be something that's way more celebrated. And yeah, maybe we go through how... I would love for you guys to reflect on when you think about your period. Is it something that you feel confident to speak about to just anyone? Or is it something that you feel a little bit ashamed of, embarrassed by? Because I think if you're listening to this and thinking, oh, that's a bit of me in there, like, I do hide my tampon, or I would never speak to it with my male guy friends, or I don't even speak to it to anyone that's not like my bestest friend, this is a really good sign that, hey, this is something that you need to work on, because you're really denying a part of yourself.
For
if you
sure.
are, it's the same, with, I'm trying to think of this whole episode, I've been trying to think of something
an
that
analogy.
you could bring it to. I'm just going to use I'll get vulnerable with you guys. Something that I have been really ashamed of for a long time in my life, because I got bullied as a kid, was I have hairy arms. And I think for a lot of
They're not even that hairy either. Like,
anyway.
I can't even see that.
No, anyway, but it's not a big deal anymore. But for a long time, it was a huge deal. I would always hide it. It was just such a big stress. And then, I don't know, I guess I just came of age, grew up, and realized it's not that much of a big deal. Like,
People are dying.
Yeah, literally, like, grow up. And I was just like, well, this is me. Like, I can either stress about it and have that weight on my shoulders for my whole life, or I can accept it and celebrate it and be like, wow, I've got hairy arms, keeps me warmer. How about you guys? And it's the same, like, that is the same thing with your period, like that burden of like, oh, this is something that I'm really ashamed of. You're hiding a part of yourself.
100%. And you wouldn't, like, when we're speaking about trying to embrace that part, we're not saying like go out and yell it from the rooftops like, I'm a menstruator, I've got blood coming out of my vulva. We're not saying
you can do that if you want.
You can, like, no judgment. I would fully support that. Please film it and send it to us, because that's great. But it can simply start with accepting it within yourself as well, because I think a lot of the times when we speak about this, actually a lot of people haven't had this conversation that's even triggered that thought for them, where they're like, shit, I speak quite negatively about my cycle and about my period, and I'm always dreading my bleed. And something that Eliza and I find very entertaining we haven't really like put our finger on it yet. I mean, we kind of have, but there are a lot of women who, when they come into the doors of Hormone Harmony, before the cohorts even started, we have a meditation portal. And the meditation portal is meditation spoken by Eliza and I, speaking positively about the cycle. Like, sometimes obviously we know that people fear their bleed. So to help soothe their mind and the way that they're talking to themselves, we've created a meditation specific for that. And I remember specifically there's been like a few cohorts where we haven't even started the program yet, and people will message us and be like, I just got my period and it was like 50% less painful. And all I did was listen to the meditations. Power of the mind.
Power of the mind.
So we can speak to that as like, yes, it's like a societal thing about how you feel and believe about your period, but it also then bleeds into how you're physically experiencing that too. And I feel like that in itself is not talked enough either.
Yeah, what we always say, like, what you speak about comes about. It's the same goes with money. If you're saying I'm poor, I'm poor, I'm poor, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, you are going to bring that into your life. I hate my period, always painful. And this is not to say your period is not painful right now. It definitely could be, and that could be what you're experiencing. I'm not denying you that. But if that's the only belief that we ever have, that's the only thing that we're ever saying to ourselves, how are we even allowing something else to enter our life, to enter that physical reality within our body? And it sounds very woo-woo.
Sounds so woo-woo.
Totally understand that, but there is
It makes us cringe talking about it sometimes.
There is so much science. There is so many studies to back it up. I think, like, the power of manifestation, people are kind of putting the dots together now.
Yeah.
And I think that the first step in healing, like, is believing that it's possible for you to.
And that's an option for you.
Yeah, and starting neutral. As May said, you don't need to go out and be like, I love my period, it's the best thing ever, because that might feel really unnatural, because you might be in bed every single month in so much pain. However, getting to a more neutral place, like, I'm open to loving my period. I'm open to the possibility that it could be pain-free. I'm open to the possibility that my skin could clear. That is the first step, because if you don't believe it's possible, you could be doing all of the things, but you're not going to get there, because there's not that unwavering belief that, this is possible and this is what I deserve.
And if you guys don't believe us either, if you're like, oh, there's not this much conditioning about our beliefs around our cycles, go to Google and search up woman on her period and go on the images and see what the first thing is that comes up. And I can guarantee you, most of them are photos of her curled over in pain.
Yeah.
And that's just like one piece of the entire puzzle as well.
And also, if you don't believe us, try it. Write a nice sentence about your body. Write a nice sentence about your cycle. Whatever's, irking you at the moment or you're struggling with, write a more positive statement about that. Say that every single day in the mirror and come back to us, because I can guarantee you things are going to change. Things are going to shift. Things are going to really start to move forward if you can do that. Even just saying it 3 times a day in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, do that every day, and if you don't see results, come to us and you can tell us we were wrong.
Yeah.
But
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Just try it. Like, and that's the thing. You've got nothing to lose when it comes to beliefs. Like, we're thinking stuff anyway, so we may as well think positive things.
Flip that, yeah. And I think on top of that as well, there's always like a warning that Eliza and I have when you work with us, when you do our course. And this isn't tooting our own horn. This is based off data and facts. And you know us, we love our data, we love our facts. When people come to us and go through our programs, there is a big chance that afterwards they change their entire life. And this isn't saying that like everyone does this, but a good percentage of these women who come through our programs either quit their job, break up with their boyfriend, move country. Like the biggest thing that you can think of, they do that. And I honestly think it's because the entire program in itself obviously is getting you closer towards yourself, but especially the way that they're speaking and they're connecting and they're communicating with themselves. I feel like it brings them back to like who they are, why they were put on this earth, and then they put in the actions to actually live their life connected to that version of themselves.
100%.
And I feel like that comes back to the way that you're talking to yourself, the beliefs that you have about not even your cycle, but like believing what you're capable of as a human as well. It's funny because our cycle, it's not separate from anything else. I would say it's probably the one thing that's the most connected to our external environment ever. And when you actually listen to that and when you put in the practices to help yourself connect with that, things change.
100%.
Things shift.
I think as well, like if you can be kind to yourself 90% of the time, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because if someone tears you down, you're like, well,
That's a you problem.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Like I believe that I'm kind and confident and glowing and healthy and I can do hard things. Like if someone tells you otherwise, you don't believe that because you're constantly feeding and if you're constantly saying, I'm confident, I'm capable, like the things that you want to, you're like, if someone's rude to you, you don't stand for that. They're out of your life. I'm breaking up with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
If this work doesn't fulfill me anymore, well, I'm going to do something else because I know that I can and I believe that I can. So that's as well coming back to the way that you speak to yourself.
And just notice like when you go throughout the day as well, I feel like if you're someone that works like in communications, like you're doing like any job where you're communicating with someone and you go, hi, how are you? Notice how instantly most people default to a negative response. Like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I didn't really sleep very well. Oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. Like, I feel like the negative response is more of a default for a lot of people than it is a positive one. And I know the biggest compliment that anyone could ever give us is when they do our program, there's been a lot of girls who have messaged us saying, I just love how positively you spoke about yourselves. And I'm like, yes, we're trying to switch that narrative and that conversation of like, fuck the negative self-talk. Like, we want to blow smoke up our asses. I feel like we always talk about this, but it's relevant. Like, we want to believe in ourselves. And I honestly feel like we wouldn't be here today if we didn't believe in ourselves
100%. Something that's kind of just dropped in to me, which I've never really thought of it in this way. As Maya said, at the very beginning of our Hormone Harmony program, the first lesson that we go through is beliefs, the way you speak to yourself, and really setting girls up for success on how to change that. And that the reason we do that is because everything that we've said today, subconscious beliefs are holding us back, and it's from healing, really. But also, healing isn't linear. Life isn't linear. So if we can set that solid foundation of speaking kind to ourselves first, that will help us through the hard times of healing, of life. Similar to what I was saying at the start of this episode, I've been through not the best health stuff recently, and I have been able to show myself grace. I've been able to show myself understanding because I know that I'm going to be okay. I'm capable of healing. I believe that that is true, and I'm being able to look at this in a way of like, well, the last 2 months have been a time for me to rest and repair. I don't think I've not trained this much in my life since I was like 15 years old, which is crazy. So I'm like, if if that's the silver lining of all of this, that my body gets to rest and rejuvenate and come back stronger and maybe realign a few things, then that's a great thing. So I think
100%.
your perspective in the way that you speak to yourself, it doesn't just help you heal, but it holds you through those hard moments as well.
Yeah, I love that.
So, and I think that's, just like dropped. I was like, wow, I'm glad that we've done that first lesson, because that's going to, because we do see it a lot, like in our programs. It feels overwhelming. There's so many things to do, and we can instantly drop back into that negative self-talk. But if we can just move ourselves into that positive self-talk, it makes it so much easier. Yes, life's been busy. I haven't been able to do what I would like to do, but I know that I can do it next week, tomorrow, and holding yourself through that is...
And that will be like a lifelong journey as well. Like we always say that you've been thinking the thoughts that you've been thinking for probably up until now. So if you're trying to shift back into that more of like that positive, compassionate self-talk and you're finding it hard, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like you've had, like, let's say that you're 25 years old. You've had 25 years of speaking how you've been speaking. Imagine just doing one day of self-talk that's positive and then being like, oh, it's just not working. Like, I'm not really feeling anything. Fair enough. Like, practice makes perfect. And it is one of those things that, sometimes we have days where it is harder than other days, specifically in my luteal phase. It's harder to speak nicer and have that compassion, but it's practice, and practice makes perfect. And I feel like each day just gets easier and easier. And as Eliza said, each day is going to go by anyway.
Yeah.
So you may as well spend those days speaking kindly to yourself, because imagine getting to the end of your life and then you're like, fuck, I was brutal.
Literally.
That would break my heart. It breaks my heart thinking about someone else like experiencing that too. Like if I could just say to anyone, like the biggest thing, just be kind to yourself and others.
Literally.
Please.
And also, as Maya just touched on, are we perfect? Do we have bad days? Absolutely. I want to preface that. We have bad days. We aren't perfect at this. But the same goes with like healthy eating. It's an active practice. Like are we, there's a balance, there's yin and yang to everything. Of course there's going to be negative thoughts that prop up. Of course we're not going to speak and feel amazing all of the time. But we also choose to actively focus on those positive things. And if we can do that majority of the time, then we're doing pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So don't worry if you're like, oh my God, I've been trying to speak positively to myself and then these negative thoughts just keep propping in. That's okay. Like we're human, that happens.
Yeah.
But just actively choose to focus on those positive thoughts again if that starts to happen, and see where your life goes.
Why don't we run through like what we do, like the workshop that we do in Hormone Harmony in the very first session. So I think we should do that for you guys today, so you have something to take away from this podcast.
Yeah.
However, I also want to preface that if you're someone who's interested in learning about this, the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, and also our guy Joe Dispenza, very, very great
we'll pop it in the show notes
stories to read about in regards to what it is that we've spoke to today. Yeah, we'll pop it in the show notes for you.
Yeah.
But the activity that we go through is essentially identifying your most common negative thought pattern. Do you want to give some examples?
Yeah. I hate my body. I'm always tired. My periods are always painful. I'm not consistent. I'm never good at working out.
Yeah. So identifying your most common negative thought pattern and then flipping that into a more positive thought pattern. And this is so contradicting because I've just wrote a whole sister scoop on how much I hate AI, but ChatGPT is very, very good for prompting that positive thought pattern. So you can put the negative one into ChatGPT and ask it, say, you are Louise Hay, or from Louise Hay's philosophy, this is a negative pattern that I've identified. Please turn it into a positive affirmation.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT will flip that and give you a positive affirmation. And there you go.
There you go. And say it out loud. I think when ChatGPT gives it to you, say it out loud and you're like, poof, I would never say like that. I would never use that word. I don't even know what that word is, or that feels really not like me. Just rewrite that phrase in your own language, in something that feels authentic to you. Obviously making sure it's still positive, and a big thing is making sure that it's in present tense as well. Affirmations always need to be in present tense, because if we're saying an affirmation, I will become happy, I will become healthy, we need that, it's always in the future, and we're never in the future. We're only ever in the present.
And that's a story for another time.
Yes. So making sure I am healthy, I am, moving towards health every single day, making sure it's something in the present moment rather than something in the future, because the future will never come.
And in saying this as well, guys, please challenge what we're saying. Like, I would love for you to listen to this right now and go, bullshit. Absolute bullshit. These two are full of rubbish. I don't trust them. I respect that. But go and try it anyway and be honest with yourself and see what happens. Because I think if there's anything that Eliza and I have learned over this work, we want you to think for yourself when it comes to your health. We don't want you to trust everything that everyone's saying, including us. But a lot of the time we can guarantee you that we've seen it time and time again. So there are a lot of things that are supporting us when we're speaking about this. But in saying that, if you are someone who's thinking that we're full of shit right now, please just go and be open-minded and try this and then see what happens.
Yeah.
If nothing works, then fair enough, we're full of shit and we apologize. Maybe there's something else we can help you with. But I think that's always good to address, because it does sound, for someone who has been thinking these thoughts for a long time, or maybe like the process of addressing your internal dialogue hasn't been something at the forefront of your mind before, conversations like this sound really stupid.
Especially when it comes to health, because you're like, well, I have painful periods. How the heck is saying a phrase going to help my painful periods? I know that sounds really far-fetched, but everything is so interconnected in our body, and you'll be shocked. And again, just challenge it. And just know as well, if you're starting to say these phrases and it feels really uncomfortable, then that's a really good sign that you need to work on this. Because if it feels uncomfortable to say a nice thing to yourself, then girl, there's a lot of work to do, and we would love to help you with that work. Starting now. Draw a line in the sand. And draw a line in the sand as of you're finishing today's episode. Whenever you speak about your period, you're around your friend, you're speaking about your body, yourself, be really mindful of the language you're using. Oh, my period's coming on Wednesday. I fucking hate my period. No, my period's coming on Wednesday. It has been painful in the past, but I'm open to seeing what next one's like. Your girlfriends, I hate my body. Don't say you hate your body. Buddy. Body.
You don't know your body.
Just being really mindful of the language that you use about yourself, about your body, about your life.
It'll trickle into all these other places as well. And I feel like that in itself is powerful. That's what Eliza and I always say. Like, if we ever have a phone call with someone, we're like, please go and spread this knowledge, like what we've just spoken about. Go tell your sisters and your aunts and your boyfriends and your uncles, like everyone. Please tell everyone, because I feel like you can't really, like, we can't reach everyone.
We can't.
But through
everyone we can.
Through everyone we can.
And I think this is a really nice flow to our next episode. We want to do a pep talk. We want to be in your ears next week, giving you when you're feeling low, maybe you're starting your day and you want to feel good, you want to feel pumped up, you want to feel ready, you want to feel a great love for life, then next week's episode. So if you are working on your self-talk and you're struggling, next week's episode will be your best friend, and you can listen to that all the time, every day. We'll be in your ears, giving you a little pep talk.
That's really exciting.
But
for now, if you guys want to stay in touch with us, we write bi-weekly newsletters, so make sure you're subscribed to them. We post daily on Instagram, so come along and comment and like and share and send us a message if you want.
And also, guys, our next cohort of Hormone Harmony is about a month away. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you just give us a message and we can book in a call and have a chat with you, a proper chat, a one-to-one chat, which is always so nice.
Yes, it is lovely. And please rate this podcast as well. We didn't know you could do that on Spotify. So we're new to this, but we would appreciate that support, just so we know that our words are landing and we're making a difference in this world. Love you guys.
Ciao.
Bye.